Yo, how's it going? Incursions have returned once again, and so have I, to remind you who the best Incursions champion is. Now, you can go in with whoever you want, it doesn't actually matter, but I wanted to sit down and give like an actual somewhat guide on going through Incursions using Angela, which is what I did again, and it went pretty well, and I think I found a pretty decent build. You know, there's some things that are just out of your control entirely. There's some luck that's required to get the buffs that you need and to not run into characters or nodes that you cannot fight. So just to get that out of the way, there are times where you're just screwed. There's nothing you can do. And I don't know what to tell you about that. It's tough luck. Thankfully, this month, there's like a really short cooldown on characters. So if you want, you can just keep on going back in until you get like a buff you want, or if things fall apart and you don't want to use a revive and you're still kind of early on, you can reset yourself. In my case, I made it all the way to room 17 without dying at all. And I'm not like a crazy player who goes to room 25 in Sector 6 without dying at all. That's just not really possible for me. And the amount of luck that comes along with having to do that. So basically, the team that I start with when I go into Incursions, always the same. When I'm running Angela, sometimes I'll bring in Hercules and have Hercules kind of carry a little bit at the beginning, but the point of this is to use Angela and her synergy with Odin. Let us find Odin. I also bring in Galen to give some extra stuff. So I'll start out with these characters. That's my base team. I do a first fight with Galen, and the reason for that is to get Galen's Cosmic Seed, to give that to Angela, to give Angela Galen's Cosmic Seed. Awesome. And then Odin to give pre-fights to Angela, and then also the synergy that Angela has, where she gains 5% buff potency for each fight the team has won. So when you get into the later zones, you're going to be doing a lot of damage, a lot of damage. So that's the basic idea there, is you want to get all the pre-fights onto Angela, so do one fight with Galen, get the pre-fight on Angela, get all of Odin's pre-fights onto Angela, and just start using her from there. From that point forward, you're going to need to get a little bit lucky with the buffs that you get. I didn't record the start of my last run, but I got pretty dang lucky. I talk a lot about how much I like buff Cornucopia, but there are a few other buffs that I have started to realize I may like potentially even more. The build that I had this time around involved having Defensive Cascade, Keep It Going, buff Cornucopia, and Draining Degeneration. Now, the idea with this build was to be able to just, for the most part, stun lock every single character, and basically that's what I did all the way up to room 17. If I have an armor up, then I put a stun. I got some extra side buffs as well. You kind of want to focus on the smaller buffs that you're getting also. You want to find things that give you buff potency, attack rating for buffs, stun duration extending, if you have Defensive Cascade, is huge. And what else? There's armor break potency. There's different small things that you can pick up that can add a lot of value to what you're doing. You kind of just need the luck. Again, it comes down to a little bit of luck and a little bit of just planning ahead, and make sure you look at those nodes that you have coming up, because there are things you can run into with Angela, especially, that can shut you down. You want to watch out for a few mystic characters, people who have neutralized like Rintra, where you just can't gain buffs at all, or people who you don't have to worry all the time, depending on the awakened ability of Angela. She may not be able to be nullified, but you want to watch out for nodes like Fate Seal, what's it called? The one where you start 20 seconds, fisticuffs. You don't get buffs or debuffs for the first bit of the fight. That can be a hassle. You want to watch out for, if you're running Defensive Cascade, I actually ran into this, not in this run, but in a previous run, where while the opponent is stunned, the damage you deal is dealt back to you, and that's just like an insta-death for you. So you want to watch out if that's a run killer right there, unless you're careful. And, you know, you may need to swap in other characters. Just make sure whatever happens, you have Angela and Odin on the team. And then that third spot can kind of go to whoever. I usually give it to Heimdall, so that I have that little bit of survivability, the indestructible. And also, I like to run maybe like a Titania or somebody who doesn't rely on buffs, which kind of goes against the build that you make for Angela, but if you run into a sticky situation, you're going to need somebody who can do the things that Angela can't, and somebody who can work without buffs is kind of an ideal character to use. So, you know, a lot of science characters to deal with mystics that Angela can't deal with, or people who don't rely on buffs. You may need to plan ahead on that. Other than that, a lot of the time, it was just me rinsing through absolutely everything, just going ham, because they're stunned the whole time. You power drain them every time you knock them down, plus you get a degen, plus the armor break you get from Keep It Going does a lot of damage. You're getting the extra potency from your synergy, and Buff Cornucopia is giving you some buffs, hopefully some regen, so that you can build up your health back from where it was. And yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about today. I think it's a little more informational than my last video with Angela, but I just wanted to revisit this in case I do see questions from people about it. So hopefully this makes things a little more clear on what you kind of want to aim for, what you're looking to do. There are other buffs you can use, like strategic movement is great for Angela. She gets some crazy numbers out of that. At this point, I wasn't too concerned with hitting huge numbers. I just wanted to get through it. So the build that I had, I wasn't really seeing the million high numbers that I was seeing in my last incursion run with Angela, but I got through it, and it wasn't that bad. And, you know, if you're looking to do it too, maybe this is an option for you. Think about it. And before I let you go, I did get enough incursion artifacts to be able to open up a crystal, so I thought I'd just tag this on to the end of the video. If you want to see, you know, a character that I get out of an incursion crystal, what could it be? So far I've gotten... Who are the characters that are in this crystal? I know I've gotten Hulkbuster. He was my #1 that I wanted. And Captain America Infinity War. Let's cap this off. Cap. Sorry. Let's cap this off by pulling Angela out of the 7-star crystal. I think that would be a pretty good way to clean up this video. The Incursions crystal. All right. Really, anything but Ronin. I just don't want Ronin. I don't care for Ronin. Mojo would be cool. Duping a Hulkbuster would be all right. I think Angela would just be a fun pull, though, to get out of this crystal after taking her to room 25. Let's go, Angela. Show me your beautiful, beautiful face. Or not. You know what? How about I dupe my Captain America Infinity War? Interesting. I don't know where to go with this. I feel like Cap has kind of fallen off in recent days. However, it's not that he's a bad character. It's just he's not a Battlegrounds character that I usually think of. However, I know that his Awakened ability has some good stuff going for him, but I can't remember if that helps him or his teammates. No, it helps him, I think, right? No, that doesn't help him in Battlegrounds at all. Okay, so that might be a bit of a swing and a miss on that, but can't complain. I didn't get Ronin, so I'm gonna take it and move on from this. If you have any other questions, you want to leave them down in the comments below. I'll try to get to those and help you out if you're trying to use Angela in Incursions, because she is undeniably the best possible option for you. Screw Hercules. That's all. Goodbye.